Welcome to The Spotlight, the podcast where veterans and military spouses connect and share how their military experience has transformed their lives and their businesses. Here's your host, Bob Louthan.
Hey, this is your host, Bob Louthan, founder of the VeteranCrowd Network, the network that brings veterans and veteran-led businesses together with each other and the resources they need to prosper. And you are tuning into The Spotlight. Hey everybody, welcome to the Spotlight on the VeteranCrowd Network. My guests today, Zach and Tricia Tift of TFTWood. They're in Eureka, Montana. I got to find out where that is. I haven't gotten the GPS out. Woodworking business. Zach is a retired veteran of the United States Air Force. Welcome to the program, Tricia, Zach. Thank you for stepping into the spotlight.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, Zach, let's start with your experience. How did you wind up getting into the United States Air Force?
That's a fun story.
Yeah, I took the ASVAB. I'm sure most people listening to your show know ASVAB, but I took the ASVAB to get out of class in high school. I had no idea what the test even was. So I took it to get out of class, and a recruiter called me up a couple weeks later and said, "Hey, you did pretty good. You want to join the Air Force?" And my response was, "Sure, why not?" He kept trying to sell me, and I said, "Stop. I'm here. Let's do this." So I joined, and then I remembered to tell my parents that I had joined about a month before I left, and my girlfriend at the time. I remembered to tell them all about a month before I left when they said, "What's your plans after school?" And I said, "Oh, right, I joined the military."
That recruiter was probably high-fiving around the office. That was probably the easiest sell he had, huh?
It probably was the easiest.
One thing we need to tell recruiters, when the young man or woman says yes, just shut up.
Exactly. I was a recruiter for 9.5 years, and I used my own experience in that regards, and it helped me a lot. There were some people, stop selling. Just if they say yes, the answer's yes.
You're good.
Just shut up.
So you went into aircraft maintenance? That was your specialty?
Yes, sir. Worked on Pavehawk helicopters, actually. Went to Fort Eustis in Virginia for the school, and then started off my 20 years there at Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada.
Fort Eustis, not far from me.
Yeah.
Down Interstate 64. Okay. And Tricia, what was your role during all this time? So high school sweethearts. What did you think when he said, "I'm going off to the Air Force"?
You know what? I thought he was crazy only because he didn't discuss it with anyone, right? But that's Zach. He just gets a plan and he goes. So it's like, okay, well, I would have picked college for you, but the military is also fantastic. Let's do this. What do we do? What's next?
Where was home, by the way? I didn't ask. Is that?
Yeah, Folsom, California, Northern California.
How did you guys wind up in Montana?
Well,
because we know we don't want California.
Hey.
No.
It's because we got to travel the world the last 20 years with the military, and we've been all over from stateside to Germany, and we decided we loved the weather of the Northeast, and we were upstate New York, and we loved it there. We loved the people in the South. We were in Georgia down at Moody Air Force Base, loved it there. Montana is the perfect mix of the two. We've got the snow, but we have the friendliness of the people of the South, and it's just the greatest place. So
now, I have to admit, I didn't go in the GPS and find out exactly where Eureka, Montana is, but where?
Canada.
Yeah, we could walk up our hill. We got 5 acres out here, and we could walk up our hill and see the Canadian Rockies out there. So
okay, so you're kind of in northwestern corner of Montana. Okay,
yes.
How far is it to like Missoula?
That's about a 4-hour drive, I think.
Yeah, 3 or 4 to Missoula.
Yeah.
We go to Kalispell if we need supplies.
Yeah, Kalispell's the closest city for us.
About an hour and a half.
Bozeman
is further.
Yeah,
so
that's about 6.5. Yeah. Something like that.
It's beautiful out there, though.
I gotta go pull the map out and look. I should have done that in advance of this conversation. So you retired about a year ago. Let's talk a little bit for our listeners about your experience in transition out of the military, because this is a hot topic for a lot of people. They have the TAP program and all of these kinds of things. I mean, did they tell you to start a business and become a woodworking thing, or what? They probably wanted you to get into the aviation industry or something?
So first off, I think that transition is still happening. I'll probably still be transitioning for a few more years, I would think. Yes, the TAPS program, that was actually a great program. I went through a lot of that much further in advance than I needed to. I think the requirement is 90 days or something before separating, something like that. I did it a year and a half early because
they were probably getting anxious, that it's a paperwork exercise for the people that are responsible, but
Exactly. But then when I started that process, I came across the Boots to Business program. I think they renamed it something now. And that was awesome. Actually, I liked it a lot. It had good information, some of it applicable, some of it not, but I mean, that's life. You got to pick and choose what actually applies to your life. But went through it, and it was good information. We had already had our business. That was part of the motivation to do it. We've been working TFTWood part-time while I was in the military for the last 5 years. So we already had the business, and we knew that was going to be part of our plan for afterwards. But obviously doing it part-time with a paycheck to fall back on is totally different than doing it full-time. So I went through the program, got some information on it. We still plan on maybe doing some government contracting kind of things as well, maybe one day. Yeah, in the future. But yeah, that was one of the little nuggets that we got from it. So it was definitely a useful program. And then transitioning out, there's lots of other things. The VBOC, what's VBOC stand for? Veteran Business something. But yeah, it's linked with tons of programs. Yeah, linked with SBA, exactly. Yeah. Tons of programs for veterans to help them out with it. But yeah, lots of options out there for transition.
Tricia, we have a lot of guests that are military spouses too. What's been unique about number one, you've been bouncing around the world following, your husband, right? Yeah. So did you have some things that you did and in addition to raising a young family?
So years ago, before the young family, I did have a job. I was an auditor for a Big Four accounting firm, and I traveled and very much enjoyed accounting, and I love numbers and people, and people don't. Are
you the bookkeeper for TFTWood?
I do a lot of things.
You were actually until I confiscated it. Yeah.
Like I got too many jobs. Somebody take this. So
yeah.
And I've I grew up in business. My parents had a motorcycle shop in Northern California for 25 years. I learned the books from my daddy. I've always
was it a Harley dealer?
No Harleys, no Japanese and parts and stuff.
The crotch rockets, you got all this.
Yeah, all the good stuff, the CBR. So I think that's just in my blood. And so the whole administrative back office I've grown up with, I enjoy, I know. And so, yeah, like you said, when we hit maybe 5 years out from retirement, it was like, okay, we need to get a plan. I'm like, here's my skill set. Here's yours. How do we mesh those together and really just kind of figure out what works and what doesn't work while we have that paycheck safety
net. Is that when you started the woodworking business?
Yeah, in 2016.
Yeah, 2016.
5 years out in anticipation, because we figured like, what's the statistic? It's about 5 years if a business is going to flop or make it. And like, okay, these are the key 5 years. So we better hustle and figure this out. What's working.
And we learned a lot in those 5 years. It was good that we had something to fall back on in those 5 years.
Yeah.
Right.
We failed a lot more than we succeeded.
Why woodworking? Was that a hobby that became a business or what?
Yeah, it started off as a hobby. Actually, it all started by when we were stationed in Georgia. I went to my uncle's house, and he had some scrap walnut wood, and I brought it back and made a cutting board for her, and she loved it. And then that turned into a dresser for our firstborn daughter. And then the movers in one of our military moves destroyed that, and so I turned that into 2 nightstands with the scrap wood from that. And then it just from there, I think right about then, a neighbor saw one of our cutting boards, said, "Hey, can you make me one?" And then another neighbor saw it, and another neighbor saw it, and it's like, I got to start charging.
Who needed to do market analysis so people were just asking you for it,
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, did you done woodworking growing up? Or did just something you just were? I'm interested enough to learn.
No, but your daddy is very resourceful. He's a handyman. He knows how to fix things. He was always putting an addition on the house or doing something outside. And I'm confident that you saw all of that stuff. And he's very, he's a knowledgeable guy. And what he didn't know, he taught himself and learned. And
YouTube.
That's very much Zach, I don't know how to do this just yet.
Like joining the military. You got to just pick something and go for it.
Jump in.
It doesn't matter what it is. Have that persistence to keep going.
So started out with cutting boards and a little bit of furniture. What are you doing now? What are you specializing in now?
So our store, you say it the best. I swear she has a script kind of memorized.
It's kitchen gifts, gadgets, and accessories with a focus on wood. So there's still cutting boards in there because that's kind of our meat and potatoes, what we started with, what we love. It's evolved to, you can accent it with resin or what have you.
We have, so there's kind of two different sides of the business. There's the smaller items that we sell a lot of on our website because small is easy to ship, less overhead as far as shipping costs and everything. And so we love those small items because we can move quantity of those. The bigger, three of them a year, I make some nice luxury kind of furniture for people. I made a cool record cabinet for somebody. Made a YouTube video out of that one actually, and that one turned out awesome. Made this other cabinet that was made out of leopard wood, and it was really cool looking with hand cut dovetails and everything in it. But a handful of just luxury items. Those ones more have to be delivered either personally or freight or something, but
that's really fun.
It's a lot more fun.
The flexibility we have what we know people love and enjoy on a regular basis, and especially for the holidays. But then there's also that nice little section where he gets to use that artistry and really just kind of look at this piece of wood and then transform it into something one of a kind and completely just gorgeous. So
our main product, our herb stripper, we sell thousands of those.
Yeah.
And I love it. Awesome. It paid for our house, but that herb stripper can get boring to make. So it's nice to be able to make some nice luxury furniture.
Honor, duty, service. At the Veteran Crowd Network, we're focused on our next mission, bringing veterans, veteran-operated businesses, and veteran service organizations together with each other and the resources they need to prosper. That's why we are launching the Veteran Crowd Rewards Program, exclusively for our individual and corporate members. Now you can save on travel, restaurants, goods, and services from brands you trust online and at over 900,000 locations nationwide. Find out more today at VeteranCrowdNetwork.com. If you are a veteran-operated business, or a VSO, consider the connections, the network, the benefits, the engagement, and success of working with other veterans again. The Veteran Crowd Network, you paid a lot of dues to join this club.
Hey, you're listening to the Spotlight on the Veteran Crowd Network. Our guests are Zach and Tricia Tift of TFTWood in Eureka, Montana. All right, what is our herb stripper?
We should have had one handy.
Yeah, I should have.
Okay, so they make a plastic version, but it's basically a walnut oval, and it has 3 or 4 different different dimensions cut out, and it's used for stripping herbs off of the stem. So if you cook with rosemary, cilantro, any of these herbs, put the stem through the hole it fits best, pull it, and they pop off. So you're not plucking.
I want one.
We can make that happen.
Yeah. And last night I was doing, my wife's like, all right, chop up parsley, right? Mm-hmm. That would work because I'm pulling the stems off, and we got rosemary bushes outside, and I'm doing that on salmon all the time and all that kind of stuff.
You need a Herbie.
All right, you're gonna cut me a deal. I'm gonna get an herb stripper.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably some other things in California they use it for, but anyway.
I'm sure.
Actually, we've had some companies reach out to us trying to collaborate. Like, I don't know how to do that, but
whatever herb you need.
So what are some of the other product lines, and do you customize these things for folks?
So not the herb stripper, but lots of other things. We make custom ornaments as well. Is there an ornament in here?
No, there's not.
The ornament box here handy. But, we do custom ornaments for people, custom cutting boards. Like we make these walnut cutting boards. Somebody just ordered 20 of them or something recently, or 40 of them with their logo.
All sales are currently over the internet. Do you have any folks that are retailers that offer your product?
We do wholesale. How many stores?
We're in about 50 stores nationwide.
Yeah.
And where are these stores? Are they spread out? A lot in Montana, or
all over. We're probably in about 3 or 4 in Montana. We're in North Carolina. We're in Dallas, Texas. We're
this close to
Wisconsin.
having a big chain grocery store pick up our herb stripper. Actually, this close. So we
have things cooking, but kind of speckled all over the U.S. Washington, all over.
it has it. So North Carolina, we got to get something near and dear in Virginia here.
Oh,
we do.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a Virginia.
I don't think we have a
Virginia.
Yet.
Yeah. Well, North Carolina, we're gonna have to bring it just a little bit north.
A little further.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested. I've kind of from a hobby standpoint, one of my sons is starting to build a lot of furniture. But if you were advising somebody to kind of get in it from the standpoint of a hobby, right? And this is very self-serving question here, but what tools should Bob invest in if I wanted to kind of do some of this for fun?
2 tools right off the bat: table saw and a miter saw.
Yeah.
With those 2 tools, your miter saw will break things down to a more usable size, and your table saw, you can do just about anything. You can make different jigs.
I've got an electric miter saw that I've used. I do some, chair rail and stuff like that. But is that what you're talking about, electric miter saw? Or should you get one that's a little bit more sophisticated than that?
In our background here, a chop saw, just to drop it down and chop larger.
Yeah, mine's not mounted on a table. I mean, but it's got the ability to do the angles, and if you can figure out which way, upside down and backwards, to set the piece of wood in there properly. And then a table saw, I've watched with some interest people making these basically a slide to go on a table saw, fits in the grooves, and then that sets them up to repeat certain cuts and that seems to be, like you say, a pretty useful piece. Hold your hands up, by the way. You got all your fingers still?
Yeah, for now.
Knock on wood. Yeah. Hold on.
I have about 7 splinters in my fingers currently, but yeah.
I would just suggest everybody be really careful in the business that you're in.
Nervous. He actually deployed for 6 months in the middle of busy season. So guess who got to become a professional woodworker whilst homeschooling all the children? And this is the one tool I'm not using is that table saw.
Yeah, it scares
her. It freaks me out.
I have a nice 5 horsepower table saw, big cabinet table saw, and it freaks her out.
Not for me. So I'll run all the other machines, but I'm not doing that.
Homeschooling 4 kids. Yeah, you've been doing that all along, or was that COVID induced? Or
you know what? My oldest, we've been doing it for about 5 years. They're all in school now, but last year at Kirtland, everybody was homeschooled. My second born was a little bit COVID induced, and then it was like, forget it. We're just gonna, everybody's trying to figure out what's a curriculum, what's not, what are we doing, what are we not. And I said, I'm not messing around with this. It's your education. So we just got an Abeka homeschool program, and there's a teacher, and I still grade the papers and submit for review. And so we just transitioned everybody over to homeschool. And
what are you doing with all that free time, Tricia?
Growing TFTWood. That's
building a house.
We've been building our house.
We bought vacant land, and we're like, perhaps we should work on this, because living in an RV with 6 of us and 3 animals is not ideal. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's close quarters. So what's the future hold? What do you think you guys have got? What are you staring down the barrel of for the next 6 to 12 months with TFTWood?
Ooh, so we're going to be guest speakers at a convention in Atlanta next February. That's going to be kind of cool. We've been focusing. So TFTWood has given us a awesome opportunity to learn marketing, whether we liked it or not. So we've learned a lot on marketing over the past 2 years. Well, a year really.
What's working for you? You're active on social media, but where have you been most effective?
We're most effective on Facebook and Instagram with in-person content. So people don't want to be sold to, right? They don't want to be like, buy this product, buy. No, it's Zach and I, and we're handcrafting these items, and you can hop on and ask me questions. You can send me a DM, and I will answer you as quickly as I see it. I mean, we're very much mom and pop, but we're also just, keeping it real, for lack of better.
It's funny. Speaking of keeping it real, it's funny. We have a piece of scrap drywall right here behind the monitor that we wrote our formula to making an ad, actually, that we've kind of just developed. And it seems to work with this last one. There's 4. Well, do you want to hear the formula?
Oh, yeah. I think this would be great for other people that are entrepreneurs out there, particularly veterans that are trying to be effective. Hey, listen, if you've cracked the code on Facebook, please let me know, because I don't know what I'm doing.
It is tough.
It is tough, but I mean, hey, I think we kind of got it figured out. So hold on. My drywall fell over just a little bit. Here we go. All right.
Oh, you can't read that far.
I know. No? All right. Make them think. In your first 1 to 2 seconds, of your ad, you got to make them think, either by being different, confusing, interesting, or shocking. But they have to think, and they have to do it in the first 1 to 2 seconds. Otherwise they're just
you've lost them.
Yeah, they're not going to pay.
They have scrolled by. They will not stop. I don't care if they're on Reels, Stories, any of that. You have to make them stop.
And we'll come back to that. All right, what's number 2? I'm writing this down.
Good. Take notes.
And then tell them why they want it. Don't make them trying to guess why they should get it. No, tell them flat out why they want it. Whether they want it because of fear of missing out or what the benefit is to them, something. But tell them why they want it, and it has to be done in the next 2 to 4 seconds. You got to be quick about it, because people have extremely short attention spans. Then tell them why they should trust you.
This is big.
This is a huge one. Tell them why they should trust you. And that can be subliminal. You don't have to say, trust me because I'm trustworthy. No, that's
you see my face.
No, but how I did it on our last ad. So it's kind of funny. Our ad, we're spending a lot of money every day on Facebook for this one ad. It started, I just did a selfie video of myself saying, support our small business. We're based in Montana. Something along those lines. I'm laying in bed when I'm doing this video, by the way. And record that. And it's authentic. And it makes people realize you're not just some random corporation that's actually based in some other country. No, you're a real person in America that is just trying to do a business, has a hustle, provide for the family. And so that builds that trust, basically. And the last one, and this one kind of, you want to do it the whole time, throughout the whole time. Call to action. A lot of people, they'll do a lot of the other steps, make it great, but there's no call to action. And so people don't know what to do. They just say, oh, okay, that's nice, and keep scrolling. No, you got to have a call to action.
And I will say, a lot of this information is derived from, can I plug a book? Anything by Mike Michalowicz. Put it in your reading library right now. But the last one he did is called Get Different. And it's all about marketing strategies and how to really diversify. And don't be afraid to be different, because you have to stand out. Everybody right now, all the brick and mortars are closing, right? Or things are shifting. Everything is going online. You have to have some kind of digital presence. And if you're not different, nobody cares. Mm-hmm. And I know we're different, but if I can't get that message across to you really quick.
In 2 seconds.
I can spend $1,000 on Facebook a day. It's not going to make any difference.
This is a great piece of advice. I'm sure this is going to become one of the trailers that we put together. We're going to carve this content up. How to make an ad, make them think, tell them why they want it, tell them why they should trust you, and then that call to action. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just solid. That's really solid stuff. Honestly, and you learned it by trial and error. But, hey, we can also put some links. You mentioned that author, Mike Michalowicz. Is that what you said?
Phenomenal.
We'll put some links in the show notes. How do folks follow you? We're going to put all this stuff in the show notes, links to your various social media. But tell them what your website is and how to follow you on Facebook and other platforms.
Yep. So our website is simple. It's just TFTWood.com. And our social media, I think our handles for Facebook and Instagram are just at TFT Woodworking. And we'll pop right up. There's a nice little tree logo. Our faces are all over social media, so you'll know it's us. And you can DM us. You can send us an email, whatever's easiest. But you're going to get me.
Really, really fascinating stuff. I mean, y'all are obviously a great team.
Yeah.
Tricia, Zach, a lot of fun. This always amazes me. We're out of time. It goes by quickly, and I learned so much. Hey, thank you so much for stepping into the spotlight from Eureka, Montana. On today, we're recording on Veterans Day. So happy Veterans Day to you, Zach, and to all of our colleagues out there. You know, today's the day that we thank the ones that are still around. Memorial Day, we'll be doing something different. But happy Veterans Day to you. You know, go Army. I'm glad that was a very good political decision to choose to choose the Army as your second choice. But anyway, thank you for stepping into the spotlight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Hey, you've been listening to the Spotlight on the VeteranCrowd Network. My name's Bob Louthan. I'm proud to host this show. Very pleased to have had our guests today, Tricia and Zach Tift from Eureka, Montana. Check out TFTWood. Zach, Tricia, I'm going to throw out an Army Bravo Zulu your way. Thanks for being on the program, folks. And that's a wrap.
Thank you for listening to Spotlight by VeteranCrowd. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and uploads, please visit our website at VeteranCrowdNetwork.com. We'll see you next time.